like to welcome you all to the fourth in our series of informal videos where I give a glimpse of some of our upcoming projects, some of our new CD releases. And the release I'd like to talk about today features three great French tenors from the early period of the early part of the 20th century. These are three tenors who flourished primarily in Paris, who really didn't have careers outside of France, but who are nevertheless great singers and deserve to be reissued. This will be a 2 CD set, and the primary tenor on this set is Émile Scaramberg, who made recordings for French phonotypia in 1905 and 6. His career actually began in the early 1890s, and he sang at the Comique, and he did sing a little bit outside of France. He sang in Belgium, but by the time the 20th century rolled around, he had been engaged at the Opera and had a brilliant career at the Opera beginning at about 1902 to about 1907. And strangely enough, in 1907, something happened to his voice. Nobody really knows, but apparently he had a vocal collapse, which ended his career rather abruptly. And he lived until the late 1930s, and he taught voice, but never sang again after 1907. So we're very lucky to have these records that he made in 1905 and 6. And there are 2 series of records. The first series with piano accompaniment, the second series with orchestral, if you will, call it orchestral, but orchestral accompaniment. And all in all, I think there are 33 sides. So as you can see, that's a big chunk of a 2 CD set. And the recordings featured on this set are arias from Manon, Werther, Gounod's Romeo and Juliet and Faust, as well as some Italian arias, which of course Scaramberg sings in French. For example, we have Questo Quella and La Donna Mobile from Rigoletto, sung in French. We have the O Lola, the Siciliana from Cavalleria, again sung in French, and Amorti Vieta from Fedora, sung in French. And they're everything on the CD of Scaramberg is just exquisite, and it's fascinating to listen to him because he wasn't at all intimidated by the recording horn, and every record seems as if Scaramberg is trying to give the performance of a lifetime, and every record is just stunning. There isn't a bad one among them. He had a very solid technique and a very strong and compelling sense of musicianship. Now the other 2 tenors on the set are lesser known to collectors because perhaps their records are just a bit rarer than Scaramberg's records. Scaramberg's records, by the way, are quite scarce. At least some of them are, and they always bring quite a lot of money on the collector market. But these other 2 tenors I'm going to talk about now are even rarer. The first one is Pierre Cornubert. Now Cornubert made 8 sides for French phonotypia, the same label that Scaramberg recorded for, and Cornubert recorded at about the same time as Scaramberg. As a matter of fact, the matrix numbers for the Cornubert recordings fall right within the same range as the Scaramberg matrices. So they may have even been in the studio on the same day. It's certainly possible. And those 8 sides of Cornubert include selections from, again, Manon, Werther, Romeo et Juliet, but then we also have an aria from Zigur of Reye, and we have Winterstürme from Die Walküre, sung in French. Now, so far, all of the recordings that I've talked about are operatic, but Cornubert also made 5 sides for a very small independent label, a little-known label, called Disc Ultima, and these were made in 1905, and they include all song titles, and they're 7-inch records, so they're tiny records. They only last about 2 minutes each, but he sings a beautiful rendition of Ouvre tes yeux bleus of Massenet and Plaisir d'amour of Martini, and I think that these show Cornubert in a different light, and it's fascinating to hear him in song repertoire because he seems equally comfortable as a singer of songs as he does in operatic material. The third tenor I'd like to talk about a little bit, whose name is Julien Leprestre, dates from about the same period. His career again spans the early 1890s to about 1909, because he died in 1909, so that's when his career came to an end. And he was not old; he was in his 40s when he died, and nobody's quite sure what he died of. But his records are extremely elusive, and many collectors have not heard of him. But I managed to, with the help of some collectors and the sound archive at Yale University, I was able to come up with 6 very good sides of Leprestre, and so I'm including them as a filler on the second CD. And these are extremely good records. We have Ma Paris from Marthe, sung in French. Again, we have the A Fouiller Douce Image from Manon, which we have now. We have Cornubert and Scaramberg and Leprestre singing the same aria, it makes for interesting comparison. Also, we have a lovely aria from an opera that is little known today called Le Voyage en Chine, but it's a lovely aria, and the opera had great popularity in France in the 19th century, in the late 19th century. And then we also have an aria from Le Dragon de Viard, which is slightly better known, but not nearly so well known, of course, as the standard French operas such as Manon. But these 3 tenors, I think, make a very interesting grouping, and this is going to be volume 1 of a continuing series, and I'm hoping to bring out perhaps 3 or 4 volumes of early French tenors. And as I always say, we're going to press 1,000 of these, and so we urge you to give us a call or email us and order your copy of Early French Tenors Volume 1, because when they're gone, they're gone.